yeah. So bring it back to films. What kind of films do you like? Do you like the more author oriented? I know you don't like the MCU much because it's
We'll talk later about the MCU.
very much Scorsese like.
Keeping that in his pocket for later.
It's very
No,
much Scorsese like answer where it's like it's very. No.
not only that, I would say I'm really much like to make it very broad.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much interested into everything that's pretty much out of reality because, like,
Sure.
to me, movies are really a way to go
Escape.
beyond that. Like,
Escape, yeah.
I don't watch a lot of documentaries. I got to
Yeah,
admit.
yeah.
I'm really into everything that's fantasy, sci-fi,
Yeah.
things like that. Like, really goes out, but of course, you have to make good films with it. So this is.
They have to be
Comes
good.
us-
But
yeah, we
I
have to be
think
good. This is what brings us to the MCU, but that's another story, you know.
I think that's a good. That's the thing that sort of brings about like an appeal to that kind of genre is that it gives you an escape from real life, but still gives you that relatability to the characters. It grounds
well,
you.
Yeah.
yeah, I would argue that every story is a metaphor,
Yeah, you know,
whether it wants to be or not.
it's a bit like 50-50. Like part of it gives you an escape, so you can take it just
Yeah.
as an escape and just forget all your problems while watching it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
actually, like the other half of it, the other side of the coin, like brings you right back into it because you're
Yeah.
just gonna see the similarities. Oh, this alien represents black people in this night,
Yeah,
things like that. You know.
Yeah,
It's
because
often
the
like that.
only thing that we know is ourselves and our own existences. So the only things you can make stories about are things that we live through or that we know exist. So
Well-
even when we write a story about everyone on a faraway planet, those people are still us.
Yeah.
Well, I also
Can't
think that
imagine.
if we create stories that aren't relatable to us, then not many people like to
No one, yeah, well,
gravitate towards it.
we had a discussion, Hugo and I, about 2001: A
Yeah, I
Space
fucking hate
Odyssey.
that. I hate that.
I
movie.
love that movie, but
Garbage.
I know that you guys don't like it.
Fucking
I mean,
garbage.
I don't like it, but I won't say it's garbage like Daryl. I mean,
No, I don't sleep through movies. Okay, I watch the worst movies on my entire life on a daily basis. I never sleep through movies. I slept the first 20 minutes. I watched Schindler's List 3
No.
times and I fucking love that film. I
No.
hate it. 20,
I mean-
21, no one.
Please, no.
just like to come back to the conversation I made with Phil, because of course you who are watching or listening to that, you don't know about this conversation. This to be clear and to finish it, to end it, like or start it, I don't know.
Finish
Like,
it.
2001 is interesting. It's quite a unique film, but my personal problem is that it's clear that Stanley Kubrick didn't make this film for anyone but himself, because he's basically, I'm sure Kubrick is the only, because he's dead, was the only single person understanding it.
Yeah.
And that bothers me a little bit, because like it makes, why have you made it if no one is supposed to like
Understand it.
grab what it is? Like,
Yeah.
I understand your criticism of that. And to me, it doesn't hamper my love for it, because my theory on criticism is, at the end of the day, this is a thing that many authors and creators will be a bit ashamed of. But the truth is, I feel, authors don't know as much about their own work as other people do. Because once the work is out there, it's the work of critics and the work of people who analyze those stories to decipher what even the creator couldn't see because of, the biases that they exist. They have a lived experience that they transmit willingly or not. So I feel like no matter what, there are elements in your film that you are not aware are like, they're not intentional, but you put them there. And thus they say something about your film or about maybe you.
Well, I think it's more
Because-
the idea of perception or perspectives that does that. 'Cause
Sure.
ultimately,
But
anything.
just what you frame, how you frame something
Yeah.
means something about how you view things.
Because maybe
So-
Kubrick wants to frame everything all
That's the
symmetrically
thing,
'cause
though.
it's aesthetically nice, and then
I
everyone's like, oh,
agree with Hugo that it's probably made in a way that the only person who feels they know the true meaning or the author's meaning is the author himself, right?
yeah,
But my argument is, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because everyone's opinion is as valid or important on it, because
Yeah.
Kubrick is gone and people still talk about it. and submit their theses on what it means.
Yeah, but it's not about that. It's just like when I watched 2001, well, I really made the effort. Like I watched, like unlike Daryl, I watched it twice, like 2 days. Like
Yeah.
really, I made the effort, like try to understand it. Like, but when I watched it, I really felt outside of it. Like it was really like, I don't know, when you see a child playing with his toys in his corner, you just don't want to intervene. Like it's his thing. And I was like, okay, you made this movie, you can watch it yourself by yourself at home.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like it's made for me or it's made for anyone else.
Yeah, it's like a home video movie.
Yeah, it was like that. It was that same thing. It was like watching the home video of someone I don't know. Like home
it's
videos
like,
are just
oh,
made for
okay.
yourself.
I
Like
think it was almost
You
3
must
hours
have had
too.
a
no?
lot of fun, Kubrick.
Yeah,
it's
you know.
it's almost 3 hours too. No, I think the
Yeah.
film is like. So yeah,
Yeah.
so imagine watching that, going 3 hours and just watching a child play. to use Hugo's analogy, a child playing with his toys in the corner for 3 hours. You're just like,
And a child that you don't know.
Yeah, you
it's
don't
like-
know him. That's the worst. You don't know him. You don't know nothing about him. Like
I mean, I guess in a sense, from an observer standpoint, you could sort of decipher and like try to understand what a meaning could come out of it. You know what I mean? Like a journalist trying to like understand what's going on and objectively.
Sure, I mean, that's something I do enjoy, is that there is a lot to pick at in it. There's a lot of things the film lightly touch on.
But there are a lot more interesting films like A Clockwork Orange or fucking The Shining, where you could actually enjoy that shit.
Maybe. I really like A Space Odyssey. It has it's going for a style of its own when tackling sci-fi.
Yeah.
And that style is, like hard sci-fi.
it's cold.
It's very hard to enjoy, but Daryl, you're probably going to be taking that class that I've taken on science
one?
fiction.
Oh, the literal literature.
Yeah, and I really love that class. We read an excerpt. I read the entire thing beforehand, but you're probably going to read an excerpt from the book that A Space Odyssey is based on.
Oh, great! There's a fucking book, of course.
Well,
I hate
that's
the
the
movie.
last
I'm gonna
reading books,
enjoy
so
the
have
book.
fun.
I'm gonna enjoy the book.
But
imagine the book ultimately makes me fall in love with the concept, and
that
I
would
go back
be
to the movie,
awesome.
and you're just like, yo, I can't stand Kubrick. Fuck out of here.